let's go ahead. Let's look at how to create this here database. So let me see if I can navigate between my screens. Awesome. All right. So today we're going to be looking at how to set up a database in Xampp. We're going to go through and walk through it. So let's go ahead and hop into it. First things first. You need to come over here. You need to click New. All right. So once you click New, it's going to create a new database. Now we're going to do this the UI way. We're not going to do this using the SQL statements just because I'm lazy. So let's call it Pizzeria DB, exactly like this. Okay. Don't mess with any of this other stuff. You don't care about that. Okay. Hit create. I can't create that because that database already exists. All right. So fast track. I'll put a 1 here. Pizzeria DB1. All right. So boom, we've created this database. Now we're going to look at our. If you have schema, that you can look at to know what tables you need, this is the part where you come into where you need to pull out that documentation. I'm going to start looking at this. So I know for my application that I'm going to be using, I need to create 4 tables. Yes, 4 tables. So I'll call the first one customer. Okay. And then I'll click go. So boom. Now you can see in Pizzeria DB1 customer table. All right, so what am I going to put in this customer table? Let's see, what kind of columns do I need in this table? So I know that I'm probably going to need an ID. All right, this is going to be what I use to define. This is going to be the primary key for this table. So I'm going to turn on the auto increment button over here. That lets me know that that'll auto increment by itself. Don't have to worry about that. I know I'm going to need a first name like that, probably. I'll need a last name. I'll need an address because I'm going to be using this to fulfill pizza orders for my application. I'm going to need another column because I've ran out of the 4 default columns it gives me. So I come up here, it says add 1 column. I'm just going to click go and it'll add another one to the bottom. And then I will put in the zip code that I need. All right. So now we have to determine types now that we've got our columns figured out. So I know that this is probably going to be varchar. Yes, so I want varchar because I can make it text or varchar, but no one's going to have an extremely long name. So it's probably best practice just to set this at 20 characters. All right, same thing for here. Last name, we'll put it at 20 characters because I doubt a lot of people have last names bigger than that. All right, and then I'm going to go to address. What does that need to be? Yeah, let's just make it a text field. I don't know where you live. I don't have to worry about that. All right. And zip code, it'll be a varchar, right? Yes. Let's make this a varchar, and let's set it to 5 because we know that all zip codes have only 5 characters. So if it's more than that, then it's not a valid zip code. All right. So boom, we've got the column set up. We have the types. We make sure the auto increment is set on, and we see that it is now seeing this as the primary key in this table. So once we do that, we can hit save, and we have our first table set up. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and let's create the next column. So I'm going to go here, our Pizzeria DB1. I've got a customer table. Let's make a new table. Let's call this table. What should we call this table? Login form. Why not? So this is what we're going to use to log in. This is going to just store 2 values, I think. This will store the master passwords for the manager and the employee in this application that I'm using. So this is what the database will use to check against when someone enters in something on the login page. See, they have valid login information. So let's see here. Of course, as always, best practice is have an ID, auto increment. All right, that's going to be an integer. Yeah, I'm not going to put it. You could technically put a value on it, but I don't have to worry about that because it'll start at 1 and just keep on going. And let's say username and password are our 2 tables. Okay, and then we're gonna let's put varchar 20 on both of these as well, just to be on the safe side because we don't need ginormous passwords, ginormous usernames. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's call this login form save. All right. So now we have this new table called login form, and it consists of an ID, which is a primary key, username, and password. Now, let's go ahead and add some yeah, some data into this table, because I know that I don't have to. I'm not going to need to really edit this as much. This isn't going to be pulling in information and pulling out information. It's just going to be this one thing. So, alrighty, okay. So I have figured it out. I think. Yep. I figured it out. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Like I said, of course, you can do some simple insert into statements here, but I'm lazy. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go over here to the insert. All right. Once I go to insert, I'm going to see this first column. Don't worry about the second one. First one. Okay, we don't have to worry about setting the ID. It'll set that for us. So we want our username to be manager for the sake of the argument, and our password to be manager. All right, let's hit go, see what happens. So insert, and it'll tell you the SQL statement right here, the SQL statement. But when you go over to your browse, you can see that it is ID, manager, and manager, like that. All right, but I do want to change this. So let's change this to 1, like that. All right, because I just want it to start at 1. All right, so it's going to show me it updated it, and it's going to do that. But we can edit it. The cool thing about Xampp is we can edit it all from right here, technically, if we want to. All right, so let's go ahead and do that one more time. Let's go to insert. We're going to insert employee and employee, like this. All right, so let's hit go. Yep, looks good. Hit go. Oh, brother, it probably inserted, nope, yes, maybe. Okay, yeah, so it inserted 2 by accident. So all you gotta do is just go here, go to delete, boom. I'm gonna change this back to 2. All right, just like that. And everything should be good to go. That's kind of a roundabout way, but it works for the purposes of what we're trying to do here. So, boom, there is our second table. So our third table is gonna be our pizza table. I'm doing a pizza database, so I'm gonna have a pizza table to store some of the inputs that I need. All right, so once again, ID, set it to auto increment, making it integer. Yep, awesome. And then we're going to have a topping type, because I need to know what kind of pizza topping type goes on my pizza. Yeah, so let's set this to varchar 20, like so. All right, so that's simple for that table. Hit save, and you'll see that you have a pizza table now with that information. And last but not least, we have our biggest table, which is the pizza order table. So pizza order table, let's put an order ID in there. This will be our primary key. Let's do a customer ID, like so. That'll probably be a foreign key because we're going to pull that from the customer table. Then we're going to do a pizza ID. All right, nice. And order date. Let's add another column. We're going to call this next one order type. So that'll probably be used at some point. Order type. Let's add another column. Let's call it quantity. All right, so this is going to tell us how many pieces we need. And one more that will be fulfilled. All right. So let's make this a tiny integer, because this is either going to be 1 or 0. This is going to tell us if our order has been fulfilled for the purposes of this pizza database. Yes. This will be quantity. I don't have to put a thing on that. Order type. This will be, let's make this a varchar 20 characters. Yep. Because it's not going to be that long. And then order date, we'll of course make this a date class, so make sure to change that there, and then leave the other ones as is. Let's save this, and boom, this table has been created. All right, coolio. Okay, so now that we've got this figured out, that should be our database that we need for the purposes of this assignment, and that should link right in with my project. So if you are needing to do anything concerning Xampp and setting up databases, here is the basic gist of using the UI to do that.